Alright, so I'm going to show how to open up and disassemble this Acer Chromebook model N17Q5. I don't know if you can see that, but anyways, there's multiple model numbers on this. I'm not sure which one it'll use. There's also CB515-1H series, so that might also be the model. Anyways, first what you want to do is remove all the screws from the bottom, so you'll use a PH1 screwdriver, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Alright, once you remove the 11 screws, what you'll want to do, open the screen slightly so that the screen can lay on itself, and then at the bottom here you'll see a gap. So what you do is you get your fingernails or pry tools in that area. Let me make sure the computer stays off. So the screen's broken on this, and we're going to be replacing the screen on here. So I'm going to make sure to shut it down. Let's see here. Shut down. Okay. So what you want to do is get your fingernails or pry tool in the back here, and then you just push. I push with my thumb on the palm rest, and then I pull with my fingers towards the top. Don't push on the trackpad. You don't want to push there because you can damage that. So just make sure only push on the palm rest area. Alright, once you do that, you'll get a gap in the top. You'll just want to go around with your pry tool or fingernails, and then just go around and do the same thing. Let's see if we can, let's see if we can pop this up from the sides like this. So same thing. Okay. Oh, I don't think you can see, but basically doing this. Okay. The screen's turning itself back on. Oops, I keep turning it back on. Let me make sure it stays shut down. Okay, go to this side, do the same thing. Alright, all the clips will disengage. Alright, close the screen again. Once you get all the front and the side clips off, then you can actually lift the cover off at an angle like this, and it'll pop out just like that. Okay, so there you go, you got the cover out. After you do that, first thing you want to do is disconnect the battery as usual. Okay, just grab the wings. Let me see if I can show a close-up of this. Okay, so just go at the wings here, and then use your fingernails and kind of just wiggle it. All right, it'll pop out. Don't try and pull straight out. You don't want to. You can possibly damage the connector. Some people, they end up yanking the connector off the board that way. The battery, if you need it, the model number is here, AC16B7K. Okay. So after you disconnect the battery, you want to press and hold the power button down. All right. I don't know if I need to take the whole screen assembly out. Let me see if that's needed. But yeah, hold the power button down, especially if you're dealing with the screen. You want to hold it down for about 15 seconds just to make sure there's no power in the board that can cause some damage to everything else. Okay, so here you got the LCD connector. Let me do it close up. If you want to remove that, there's this little black tab here. You just pop it up with your fingernail, and then you can pull this connector back. You do have to raise the connector slightly because these little white parts are raised and they catch on the wings of the connector. But that's how you would do that. You got the speaker connector here. Oops. Let's see if I get this in. You got the speaker connector here. So to remove that, you just wiggle it out like the battery connector. I'm not going to take it out. But the speaker, there's no screws. You just lift it out. There's rubber pieces underneath. And then you can guide the... Oops, sorry. It's difficult to do this. But once you unplug it, then you just guide the wires out from these little clips. And you can lift the other speaker out. They're both connected to the one connector over here. Okay, you got this separate USB board with the USB-C charge port. So if you do damage your charge port, you can replace this board. This cable is for the charge port alone. So if this gets damaged somehow, you can replace that. And then this is for the USB 3 port. Okay, I don't see anything else. Oh, it also powers the light, the charge light. So if the charge light's not coming on, check this board. It might be that. There is a model number here, so if you need it, it's this. DA0ZRXTB6D0, revision D. Right? You probably won't need that, but just in case, usually you just search for like the charge port or something for this. Okay. There we go. So the CPU, the RAM, everything is under this heat sink. It doesn't look like any of it will be replaceable with how thin the gap is. So most likely everything is soldered down. You don't want to take this off. If you do, then you'll have to redo the thermal paste. The wireless card is the same as every other computer. You just pull it up from the tail. Let me see if I can show a close-up of that. Okay, so the wireless card's just like every other one. You just pull up from the tail. Usually I'll use like 2 fingernails and then just pull it up like that. Okay, and to put it back down, you just line it up. Make sure it's aligned properly. Okay, you'll know it's aligned properly because like if you see when I wiggle my fingernail over it, it stays in place. Then you can just push it straight down. All right. There you go. You'll hear it snap in place. To take the wireless card out, you just remove the one screw and then the card will pop up. You just wiggle it and pull it out. Okay. So all these connectors are the same. They have these little latches that you flip up to take it out. All right. I'm going to leave them in, but yeah, you got all the latches. And make sure you pry on the right side of the connector. You don't want to pry on the back. Yeah, so just make sure you kind of look at it closely to see which side will actually move. And usually you'll know because the plastic will go, the plastic will go in towards the center of the connector and not to the outside. So here the plastic, it's on this side, it's shorter in the center. That's how you know that this side is the one that you'll flip up. Okay, so just like that. All right, so anyways, again, we're gonna replace the screen. Let me see if the screen needs to be popped out. Okay, I think this screen, we don't need to pop it out completely from the case, but you do need to just unclip the hinge back here. So I just run my fingernails across while kind of pulling the plastic piece towards myself. And that's how you disconnect the plastic frame from the bottom of the screen. I don't know if I'll be able to get a good angle of how to take the screen out, but I'll try. All right, so to remove the screen, usually you just pull up from the center like this. There is some adhesive, it seems, so it might make it a little bit difficult. But you pull up from the center and the clips will disengage. Sometimes it helps to pull the bezel in towards the center while you're lifting it up. So like you can use your thumbs to kind of push on it towards the center. All right, so this one has some strong clips here, so I'm not sure. I'm gonna go around the other side first. Okay, so just like this. All right, and you go around the other side, just like that. Okay, just like this. Alright, once you get around this side, it seems like this clip is a little tricky. You might have to kind of move it sideways. Let's see here. Is it this way? Yeah, so I had to move it to this side, alright, away from the camera. So it doesn't look like the clip is shaped that way, so it's kind of weird that it grabbed that way. It looks like it should actually have come out just by twisting it the same as the rest. So it's kind of strange, but yeah. So now we'll go across the bottom here. I'm sliding my finger underneath. You can use like a pry tool. Another way is you can use like this thin kind of tool and then just go along. When it gets to the adhesive, just kind of twist it a bit to pull the adhesive down. All right, just like that. So that way you do less risk of flexing the plastic frame. All right, just don't put the tool too far because there are cables in there. You don't want to end up damaging those. Okay. So once you get that, there are clips like towards the bottom, so you kind of have to move it around. All right, let me see if I can put it up. If you are gonna rest the bottom on your table, you kind of want to be careful. I put like this anti-static thing there. Oh, the battery doesn't even have screws in it. That's interesting. Yeah, so if you don't have a nice anti-static thing, you can just put the cover back on. loosely, okay, and then just open the screen back up, or you can just clip it back in place. It's not too difficult to remove the cover, so yeah. All right, so now we'll lean this back up like this. We got the top part of the frame out. Now we need to get the bottom. So I usually end up having to push the frame down and then pull up. All right, you heard it clip. All right, like this, pull it down, push up. Sometimes it's a little difficult. Just go around. Let's see. Hopefully I won't have to take the whole screen assembly out of the laptop to do this. It seems like I should be able to just unpop the clips here. All right, it can be tricky again. Let's check. Sometimes you need to check the bottom and undo these clips again. Yep, they redid themselves, so make sure that you get the bottom clips from the hinge. All right, if those are clipped in, then you won't be able to remove the screen, so just know that. Right, you can actually see the clips from down here now. All right, it is still being held in place very strong, so let's see. The clips for the hinge keep popping itself back in place, so I might have to remove the entire screen assembly. So let's see here. Can it pop out this way? It feels like it's coming up, so it's kind of strange. I think it's just the clips here are tough. Yeah, the clips towards the bottom here are very strong. Let's see. You kind of want to make sure to grab on the lower part. I don't think there's any screws or anything in there. Do I have to take this plastic frame off? This silver plastic frame comes away from the black piece, I think. But I don't know if there's screws or something holding underneath. I might have to check. Let's see. So let's remove this plastic. I'm removing the silver frame from the little bezel at the bottom, just so I can see underneath. Okay, there's just adhesive there, so I'm not sure how that's holding on, because this plastic frame can come separately. It's kind of strange. So we might have to just work it harder. Unclip this again. Okay, I'm gonna work on like a small section at a time and see if I can somehow separate it. Okay, so it is coming out. It's just very difficult. There we go. So it looks like it helps if you push this bezel in towards the center, just like the other pieces, of course. Let's see if the whole piece will come out, though. It's getting kind of caught there. The only thing is, once you get part of it out, it's hard to unclip these bottom pieces again, because now you can't close the screen. So you kind of have to work with the pry tool. Okay, make sure it's unclipped there. Alright, then we got to pull this towards the center, it seems. Yeah, okay. So pull this black part towards the center, and that helps you remove it. There we go. So now I'll want to put this plastic piece back in because I misaligned it. But alright. So just align the frame back in. Okay. So here you can see how the frame has the adhesive. They just put the adhesive on this under here to hold this silver looking frame on it. Okay. Now that we got that, we just need to remove the screen. So the screen is held in with 4 screws. So now the thing's gonna be in my way, but let's see if I can do this. So make sure you put enough pressure to get the screws out. You don't want the screwdriver to skip out of the screw. Okay. So you need to kind of push down hard while you twist the screw. Just like that. Oops. Okay. just remove all 4 screws in the corner, holding the screen in place. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. There you go. Once you got the 4 screws done, put the thing up just like this. All right, and then you just pull the screen forward. Be gentle. Be careful, the bottom connector has some adhesive holding it, so you kind of have to peel that adhesive out, okay? All right, just be very gentle. There you go, and it pops out just like that. Okay, once you do that, you want to peel up this plastic tab. All right, once you peel that up, then you can use your fingernails on the golden part of the tabs. Let me see if I can show a close-up of this. Okay. So at these golden tabs, you use your fingernails and then you just pull it back like that, okay? Again, make sure you did the power, holding the power button down with the battery disconnected. If you don't, you can actually damage the screen. So now we got that, we just get the new screen, okay. Okay, so now we'll grab the new screen. Hopefully it's the right one. Okay, looks like it. All right, so we got the new screen. Okay, remove the plastic protective sheet that's on the front. Yours might be a sticker that's on the front. Okay, put the screen laying down like before. Grab the connector. Let's see if I can do a really good close-up for you guys. Right, if it doesn't reach, just slide the screen over. You can align it later. So just like that. All right, get the connector. Make sure that the side parts go underneath the connector. Okay, and make sure that you insert the connector straight. You don't want to put it in at an angle. Okay, once you do that, and this tape is sticking to the thing. Okay, so once you get the connector in, just like this, okay, then you just pull it straight in, okay? Usually after I get the connector in, I use my fingernails towards the top of the connector and just to put a little extra force to pull it. So I'm not really using my thumbs to pull the tab, I'm mainly pulling in from the top there, right? After you do that, oops, it's out of view. After you do that, you basically just put the sticker thing back down. If you damage the sticker, you can get like some thin tape and just put it back over the top to hold it in place. Okay, looks like this one got bent a little. Hopefully the screen's okay. But anyways, once you do that, you just put the screen back up. Okay, just like this. This one, one of the metal pieces got bent a little bit. That happens pretty often from shipping. But anyways, you just put the screws back in. Usually if you're not laying the screen down, you'll want to put the top screws in so the screen doesn't flip back over. Okay, so put the top screws in first. All right. Tighten up the screws. Right, these screws technically aren't too important because because the plastic frame will hold the screen in place. So I'm not sure why exactly they design it like this, but I guess maybe to keep it from moving around just a tiny bit. Right, so this part of the metal frame is kind of weird because it got bent a little bit. Let's see here, put that one screw in. Alright, let me see if I can align this one screw by moving this side down first. Okay. the metal tab on this one, it kind of got bent downwards a little bit, so I'm gonna try and get the plastic tab in place. There we go. Okay, now we got that. And tighten up that screw. All right, go back and tighten up all the screws. Be careful when you're tightening the screen that you don't put pressure on the screen. You don't want to squeeze the screen really hard. I've had some people that they try and lift up the laptop by the screen, like they'll grab from the side like this and carry the laptop. Don't do that. That's very bad for the computer. All right. Okay, so now that we got all this in, we're gonna test the screen before we put everything back together. Okay, so we'll close this. Then we'll reconnect the battery. On some models, when you change the screen after you disconnect the battery, or not specifically when you change the screen, but sometimes when you disconnect the battery, you have to plug it back in for it to turn back on the first time. All right, so just keep that in mind if your computer's not turning on. Check all the connectors inside first, and then after that, plug it in and see if sometimes it needs the charge port connected before it will turn back on. All right, so snap the back down first, because that's the part that came out last. All right, then you just go around and snap in the sides. All right, if you're testing the screen first, you probably don't want to snap the thing in, but I figured might as well. It should be okay unless the screen is faulty. So let's see if it turns on. I think I need to plug it in. Yeah, okay, so as you can see, it didn't do anything, so I'm gonna plug it in now. Okay. All right. Plug it in. Make sure the charge port light comes on. It's plugged in right now. The light on the side is on. Oh, both sides are charge ports. Okay. So one of the charge ports is soldered to the board, the other one is a separate removable. And now you can see the screen is on, so it's good to go. If you want to make sure, you can unplug it and then make sure it's still on. I don't want to show my customers' usernames and stuff, so let me turn it off first. Okay, so now you can see it's not plugged in anymore. Power button. Oh, actually, I think this turns on by closing the screen and opening it, huh? Okay, there we go. So, yep, there you go. It's working. So that's pretty much it. We just need to snap the frame and everything back in place. I'm going to leave the plug in for now so they can have a full battery. So it looks like it's already pretty full. So, yeah. Okay, so now we got that. We want to snap the frame back in. Just drop the frame back in place so the bottom piece will drop down there. And then I usually like to start with the top. Sorry if you can't see. All right, start with the top, and I push down at the top. All right, not towards the center, just at the top edge, just like this. When you push on the top, it causes the thing to kind of rotate to fit into the clip, so it automatically goes into the right spot. Okay. Once you snap those, then you can go along the top and see if any clips are missing, okay, or didn't get clipped in properly. All right, and then you go along the bottom, same thing, you just push at the bottom edge like this. Okay. All right, now that you got all of that, run your finger along the flat bracket. Okay, then turn it over. Make sure all these clips are in. Usually they'll clip themselves, but you can just check to make sure. Looks like it's good to go. And then you just put all the screws back in, and that's all there is to it. All right, so hopefully this video helped you. If it did, please like and subscribe, because that'll help others find my videos and also help me. And thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.